Well, our journey on 18 Hour on the Go would not be complete without talking about Berger Paints, the company which has been calling Kolkata its home for over a century now. And of course, to talk to us about that, we'll be joined by the MD and CEO, Mr. Abhijit Roy. Hi Abhijit, thanks so much for having us here.
Hi.
You know what, I wanted to begin by asking you about West Bengal itself. It itself presents such a rich tapestry of culture, arts, history. But over the last few years, what's been the momentum like in terms of the business? Because there's a lot of vibrancy and buzzing around when I was coming here. Is that actually percolating in the West Bengal economy as well?
So West Bengal, over the years you would have seen that it used to be one of the biggest center of economy or industry in the country, and in the British time it used to be a very big center for trade, commerce, whatever you can think of. Numerous headquarters. Most of the British companies were headquartered here.
Correct.
And we were one of them actually. In 1923 we started our journey. It was Hatfield. At that point of time it used to be called Hatfield.
Oh.
And then it got changed. The name became Berger Paints. It got acquired by Mr. Vijay Mallya. The history may not be known to most people.
It's not. It's a revelation to me.
So Vijay Mallya was owner of this company for some time. In 1991, this company got sold to our current promoters, Mr. Dhingra, and he became then the chairman, and he had a professional system working from Calcutta. So he stays in Delhi. So this is another, possibly in those days it was unthinkable that the chairman and promoter was staying in Delhi, and you have a professional operating out of Calcutta, and it continued in that vein. My predecessor was there till 2012, and then from 2012 I have been in this saddle as the CEO and MD of this company, and this is what is continuing.
Your market share, if I remember it right, was around 20%. How are you looking to, increase it at a time when there are other players entering? Are you looking at perhaps letting go of margins, letting go of pricing and profitability for the sake of revenue growth and market share?
So we believe that we should be, we are in a very good position to be in. So first of all, we have a strong brand. We have been there in India for long years. We have a very good supply situation. We have about 13 odd factories now, spread across the country. So supplying is not a problem. The product qualities are very good, well accepted. We have been there in this country for years, built it up from scratch. We have a strong R&D. We've been innovating in terms of product, different types of products which we keep introducing. Some very innovative ones recently introduced also, which I will tell you later. And so we are not, we don't think that growth is an issue for us. We will possibly continue to grow at a reasonably good pace. We expect still double-digit continued growth, both in volume terms. Values sometimes keep changing. For example, last year we had a price drop of about 4 to 5%, right? So naturally, from third and fourth quarter, the volumes were still double digit, but the value growth was coming to single digit, mid single digit, and around those levels. And therefore, volume growth remains strong. It is likely to remain strong in the future as well. Competition will always be there. Has been international competition earlier, now domestic competition. So JSW has been there for almost now 5 years. We have continued to grow in this 5-year time frame. As long as they have been there, we have actually grown from about 3,800, 4,000 odd crores, which we had 7-8 years back. We had gone up to 6,000 crores maybe 4 years back. In 4 years we have crossed 10,000 crores, right? So in this period when the competition has been strong from one of the players, we have actually grown by 50% in this 3.5 year period, right, after COVID. Now, this growth is likely to continue into the future as well. Another new player is coming in, or 3 more players have jumped in. But some of them are for defensive strategy, they just want to defend their turf, because people were getting into, paint players were getting into their turf and they want to defend that, so understandable. But one or two players want to become aggressive. Doesn't matter. There is enough space in this industry. We are about 65-70,000 crore industry, right? Growing at 10% means we're growing at about 6,500 crores every year, right? In a 4-year time frame, we will have about say 27-28,000 crore of
additional
business, right? Now the new entrant, which everyone keeps talking about, they have declared that they want to get about 10,000 crores, 10,000 crores, out of this, right? So there's still 18,000, 20,000 crores left on the table for others to take. That is if they get that 10,000, which I have serious doubts on, but that's fine. Even that, if it happens, we will continue to grow.
So just coming back to the numbers a bit, so 2-3 things that you talked about. A, there was a pricing pressure last year. Is it expected this year? Secondly, market share from 20%, where does it go? And then I'll come to the margins later, but first tell me these two things, market share as well as pricing pressure this year.
So pricing pressure, it's not a pressure as such, because what had happened is that the raw material prices had gone down. And the margins had gone up substantially. That was not a sustainable margin, it had peaked actually. So then the industry leaders first and then all of us decided that we should have prices which should be corrected, and so the demand was also a little bit slowing down, so we wanted to boost it up. So the pricing came down and now the margins are back to normal levels. We operate normally in the 15 to 17% level of EBITDA. And that is where we are. We had shot up to about 18 plus. It is back to
so
in that
15
range.
to 17 is what is going to be sustainable in
That's
EBITDA.
right.
41, 43 thereabouts in gross margin.
That's right. That's right.
And volume, because I was reading one of the commentary that you had given earlier at the end of the Q3 that perhaps there was expected to be some sort of sluggishness in first half of this year, purely on account of elections. Have you seen that playing out? Has volume of uptick been, let's say, in single digit rather than double digit?
No, it's more or less still on the double digit level. Little bit of slowdown you can say, because of the disturbance of the elections, etc. But that I hope things will be clearer from June 4th onwards, of course. But April and May, yes, little bit of disturbance will be there. But that's postponement of demand. I presume that should come back in the second and the third quarter. Whatever little that you don't want to do at this stage, you don't want to attract attention maybe, of people. So at that point of time, you tend to postpone.
The commercial and the industrial products, that's been also something that you have been talking a lot more about, that you want to become a large player, if not number one, at least in the top league there. Talk to me about what are you doing to achieve that and what's the timeline to kind of hit that mark?
So we are a leader in India in protective coatings. So for example, if you take the Mumbai bridge, which has just been opened, Atal bridge was coated by us. If you look at all the airports, most of them are coated by us. All the nuclear power plants, thermal power plants, Indian Oil, we are a big player in that protective coating segment. This is out of a British heritage which we had. The Britishers were actually industrial paint players, right? They never were there present in the decorative paint. They never understood this business so much. We came in very late, therefore, in the decorative business. Asian started in 60s. We started in late 80s in decorative, right? So we were actually an industrial player, but primarily a protective coatings player. We were a clear leader in that particular segment. In general industries also, we remain number one in India. It is only in automotive and powder coatings where Kansai is the leader and we are number 3, number 2, some places. So it's like that. But we are very strong on the industrial portfolio, especially in protective coatings and general industries where we remain the leader. And with this infrastructure growth happening, we should be able to capitalize. Part of that should come to us because remaining the leader, we should get a share of that. So that's one part of the story. The second part is related to waterproofing and construction chemical. And the two of us combined together, we are now in the top 3 in India. Right, already, pretty strong player as far as the waterproofing category is concerned. We believe that, there is enormous growth opportunity in this particular domain and we will continue to focus in this category.
Okay, so that's clearly been a growth driver for you. You have a stronghold and you're building that up.
Right.
But you talked about the acquisition that you just did. Anything else in the pipeline?
Well, we keep looking at various types of,
But anything active, anything nearing?
not really that I can speak about,
Sure.
but we are always on the lookout for suitable opportunities. If anything comes alive, of course, we will acquire, but we have done small level acquisitions, all through.
Sure.
Some product fitment, something which is available at the right price, and it adds value to our portfolio, whether it is industrial, whether it is construction chemical, mostly in these two domains. Or we want to expand into some other country, new country, then we look at some opportunity, like we have done in Nepal, like we have done in Poland, so it's in that manner.
Interesting. I just wanted to come back to the point of margins a bit, because we did talk about the pricing pressure and demand bit, but what about the raw material side? Because crude has started spiking a bit again, and it looks like because of the geopolitical tension, it's going to be at least, continues to be at an elevated level. What's your reading? Will it dampen the margin a bit, or do you think this is something that you guys can manage with the pricing and the kind of pass-throughs that you do?
Yeah, so normally whenever we have seen that the crude prices go beyond a level, currently it is in that level of 75 to 90 range,
90,
and that's where it is hovering. And as long as it is around that point, I don't see any reason for us to get worried, because if it breaches the $100 mark and starts climbing upwards, normally the industry has been able to pass on this price increases to the customers. So that shouldn't be a problem as such. The margins will be held at that band which I spoke about. We should be around those 15 to 17% level in terms of EBITDA.
Since you've mentioned Kolkata, let me ask you your choices. Best eating place in Kolkata?
No, if you are, you have to tell me if you are
Vegetarian?
non-veg or a vegetarian.
Tell me both,
Because
right?
I am a
Vegetarian and
non-veg guy,
non-vegetarian, both.
so from non-veg perspective, if you want, Peter Cat is very good, you can go there. If you can get veg also there. So it has both a veg and a non-veg variety. Just opposite that is barbecue. Again, a very nice, I would say, value for money, excellent food restaurant, right? But
Good.
getting space there is a problem.
So we'll probably make a reservation. What's your
They
favorite
don't have
Bengali
reservations,
food?
by the
Oh, okay. It's out there.
Right.
What's your favorite food? Bengali food?
Bengali food, I have in my house, what we call aloo posto. I don't know whether you have
It's
ever
what, an
heard
aloo
of.
ka sabzi,
It's
different
aloo
format?
with these poppy seeds.
Oh,
Right?
interesting.
So that's something which I love. So that's my favorite
Favorite
in
food.
terms of a vegetarian dish. Non-veg, of course, fish. Is something.
Favorite sport? Football or cricket?
Football any day.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Then which is the team that you follow?
I I follow international and domestic.
Both, tell
but
me both.
Arsenal, which I look
Oh,
at.
they've been doing very well this season.
That's something which has been
After a long time.
After a
though.
long time,
After
of course.
very, very long time.
Agreed. But and in Calcutta, in West Bengal, Mohun Bagan, that's my favorite team. I used to go to the ground earlier.
Wow.
No longer now, but that's
Have
my
you
favorite.
caught any IPL match? KKR fan are you?
I have seen, yes, I've been to the ground, not this year, but till last year I used to go to the ground also. 2 matches at least I used to see. Of
There's
course,
still some
KKR.
left, so hopefully you'll be able to catch at least some bit of it.
Right.
So that's interesting. And what would you suggest is the must do when you come to Kolkata, apart from food? Is there a place that you would highly recommend? Is there an experience that you would highly recommend?
I think 2 things.
Sure.
One, I think you should definitely see a play. We call it Natok or Jatra.
Okay.
In some
Natok or Jatra,
Yeah.
okay.
So some place, wherever this is running, there are 2 or 3 big places which are
Okay.
constantly running these shows. So you can partake in that. One of them. You want to see some sites, good sites, you can go to this Victoria Memorial.
Yes.
Just beside that, the second Hooghly Bridge is there. So from the second Hooghly Bridge, you get a whole city view, which is very, very nice, because you get to see the old Howrah Bridge, you get to see the Victoria Memorial, and you see the Ganges flowing below. So that's a lovely place to be on.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.